we head towards the western coast of northern Luzon. As we do, we also come closer to our present, to a place which symbolizes the first colonization of the Philippines. It was in 1572 that the Spanish conquistador Juan de Salcedo founded Villa Fernandina, which was then located on an island in the Abra River Delta. How Villa Fernandina eventually became Vigan has been subject to some curious speculation. According to local folklore, Vigan got its name from the bigaa plant, which used to grow abundantly along the riverbanks. On the other hand, Chinese chronicles tell of the gold which used to wash down from the mountains to the seacoast, creating a wonderful sight for pre-colonial Chinese sea merchants. Vigan, when written in Chinese characters, means beautiful shore. Whatever the true origins of its name, Vigan throughout its colorful past continued to mirror a strong Chinese influence. Aside from becoming the religious center of the region, Vigan during the 18th and 19th centuries was also the leading trading hub in the Philippine North, ranking third in size, political power, and economic significance after Cebu and Manila. The Mestizo River was central to the development of Vigan's economy. Seagoing ships, which berthed at its delta, carried goods directly from China. As a maritime center, Vigan also participated in the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade by supplying the thick hand-woven cloth used as sails for the galleons. It is therefore not surprising that the architecture and urban layout of Vigan reflect the foreign influences brought about by its former trade connections with China, Mexico, and Spain. And early in the 20th century, America likewise stamped its imprint on the city. Today, Vigan is the only place in the country that has retained most of its colonial architecture. When it was inscribed as a World Heritage Site in 1999, UNESCO cited Vigan as the best preserved example of a planned Spanish colonial town in Asia. The architecture of the typical Vigan house is derived from the traditional Bahay Kubo or Bahay na Nipa. The much larger Bahay na Bato or stone house found in the Mestizo district of Vigan is of 2 stories solidly enclosed with stone walls on the ground level for protection. The second level is constructed completely out of wood. Its roof, covered with terracotta tiles, is steeply pitched and sometimes flares out at the eaves, again reminding us of Chinese influence. The exterior walls of the family quarters on the second level are enclosed with sliding window panels made out of capiz shells. Upon sliding the panels open, the family quarters freely admit the air and sky. I was fortunate to be joined on this trip by Dr. Fernando Cialcita, an anthropologist and fellow conservationist, whose insights on Vigan have always aroused interest.
It is Filipino urban architecture at its very best. It's also town planning at a very productive and very rational level. And also, I like the fact that Vigan combines cultural traditions together. There are innovations in these houses which are very Pinoy, like having, for example, the ventanilla, which is not found in Spain. The whole idea that you don't need too many bedrooms because you can use even the sala as your sleeping room at night. You just lay out the mat. That's very Pinoy.
I've always felt at home in Vigan, not only because I'm an architect, but also because Vigan's architecture relates the story of the Filipino and of how his constant exposure to foreign influences has endowed him with the ability to adapt foreign ideas and combine them into a style uniquely his own.